Sherman+Reilly PLW 200X is capable of pulling up to 2,000 pounds of force at top of drum. Perform all startup procedures. The unit should be positioned, anchored, leveled, and appropriately grounded. Refer to the operator's manual for proper setup, safety procedures, and operational instructions. All 4 pulling drums are driven by one common hydraulic drive assembly through a chain sprocket final drive arrangement. Each pulling drum has a drive coupling to engage and disengage the drum. All lines, ropes, and conductor must be tied off before engaging or disengaging the drums. There cannot be any load on the brakes or against hydraulic drive when engaging or disengaging the pulling drums. Fully release the payout brakes and safety brakes. Ensure all lines are tied off and secured before releasing any brakes. Engage the drum drive coupler for the pulling drum or drums being used. It will likely be necessary to jog the drum engagement to get the teeth to align. Push forward and down on the engagement lever to lock it in. To position the Levelwind, the unit must be turned on. See the operator's manual for startup instructions. On the control panel, activate the Levelwind, street side or curbside. Using the top joystick lateral rocker switch, adjust the left-right starting position. Position the Levelwind centered over the exit rope in line with the pulling line as it enters the reel. Place the pulling rope through the Levelwind head and secure all rollers and retaining pins. Pull in any unwanted slack in the line. Squeeze the joystick trigger and slowly pull back on the joystick to begin drum rotation. Return the joystick to center neutral to stop rotation. Set the safety brake switch to brake position. After taking in the slack and setting the safety brake, the tie-offs can be released. To begin pulling, release the safety brake and squeeze the joystick trigger. Slowly pull back on the joystick to begin drum rotation. Pause briefly for the brake to release. Once the brake releases, release the joystick trigger. Adjust the line tension limit using the line tension control knob. Pull backward on the joystick until the desired rotation speed is reached. Once the speed is at the desired level, the joystick itself can be released. Manage the lay of the pulling line using the Levelwind. The Levelwind requires constant operator input. The operator controls the lateral side-to-side movement of the Levelwind and the turnaround points using the top joystick lateral rocker switch. Note, the Levelwind lateral rocker switch is proportional. The harder it is pressed, the faster the Levelwind will move. Caution, be careful not to extend the Levelwind fair lead head beyond the flange of the drum. Monitor and adjust the line tension as required. Use the provided chart to estimate the tension on the pulling line. Engine throttle control is managed automatically by the control system depending on the power demand. The RPM on the engine can also be increased or decreased from the system control panel engine information screen in 100 RPM increments, depending on the power demands of the pull. To adjust the engine working RPM higher or lower than the default, depress the joystick trigger, then use the up-down arrows on the control panel. This will set the working RPM. When the engine is restarted, the working RPM setting will return to the default of 2700 RPM. In the event of an emergency, the emergency stop button can be used to stop all operations and shut down the machine. Once the pull is complete and the operations have concluded, place the joystick control in the center neutral position with the trigger released and ensure that the hydraulic drum brake or safety brake is set. This will conclude pulling operations. To shut down the machine, turn the keyed switch to the off position. This video is not a substitute for reading and understanding the operator's manual. And thank you for choosing a Sherman+Reilly Pilot Line Winder.